Yes, good evening. Good evening, Neeraj. How are you? Good evening, and welcome. Just let me know, is my audio video very clear? Good evening, Harsh. Good evening, Sasidhar. After so many days, able to attend your live lecture. Okay, Neeraj, that's good. Happy to see you live after so many days. So, how are your preparations going on, all of you? Not bad. Oh, Sasidhar, it should be really good, awesome. Can't wait for the exams. And rather can't wait for the exams to get over. But yeah, the exams will get over if the exams will start soon. Yeah. SCMPE complete FR is doing और खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा. Neeraj, that's a common story. खत्म कभी नहीं होगा. But keep doing it, right? Acha, tell me, did you attend my strategy session which I had at the beginning of this month? Yeah, around 11th April, I had conducted a strategy session regarding CA final exams, like how to prepare and how to strategize your studies over there. Have you gone through that? It was a live YouTube session, but I don't know how many of you have seen that. On the same channel it was. Sasidhar, yes, you have been seeing my recorded classes. That's good. Thank you. Neeraj, link in the group. The link I had sent in the group on the day of the class. Every time I come live, I always send a link on the group. That session was on 11th of April, and that was specifically for May 22 exams for developing strategy about how to study, yeah, or how to prepare and all. But anyways, that was like the strategy for last 1 month. However, now there is less than 1 month left, but still you can go through that session to get your things lined up properly. Okay. Anyways, okay. So today we are meeting here for starting a marathon revision. Let me first give you details about my entire marathon revision series. Yeah, my total marathon revision will be requiring 16 hours. Total 16 hours. First two sessions will be YouTube session, and then the remaining sessions will be on Unacademy special class, so that is free for anyone to attend. So please tell all your friends and relatives or anyone who wants to have this full marathon revision, tell them to attend this on YouTube as well as on Unacademy also. Rest all the sessions will be on Unacademy, and I'll be sharing the links for all the sessions eventually on my Telegram group. Okay, so on my Telegram channel you will be getting the links for all of them. Once all the sessions are completed, then I'll also compile an overall I'll compile all the links within one message and send you that overall schedule on my Telegram channel also. However, the Unacademy special classes, all of them will be of 45 minutes each. There are some regulations on Unacademy that I need to take special class of only 45 minutes each. So 45 minutes each into 3 classes per day. So that will turn out to be approximately 2 hours every day for the next 6 days on Unacademy special class. Okay, this is going to be my schedule, and probably by tonight or by tomorrow, I will share the full schedule on my Telegram channel. Yeah, I hope you all have been part of my Telegram channel. Yeah, Sasidhar, Neeraj, Harsh. Okay, my today's session will be for my today's session will be for chapter 1 introduction, then chapter 11 budgets. But these two chapters are very small chapters and very not very important for the exams. So along with these chapters, by the end of today's session, I will have some time. I will also start with standard costing. Yes, standard costing is an important chapter. Neeraj, yes, I'm student of 7th December batch. Hope you remember. Yes, Neeraj, I remember the name at least. And Harsh, I'm your old student, fast track batch. Okay, Harsh, thank you. Old fast track, you mean in October? October fast track you attended, is it? October fast track was for November exams. But yeah, that same can be applicable to the May exams also. Okay, so starting with chapter number 1. See, my marathon revision is going to be what? Please understand, these sessions are going to be revision. Revision means that you should already have one vision, then we can do revision. You understand the term, right? There has to be one vision by you, then only you can attend the revision. Please do not expect that by attending only the revision series, you will understand like the entire subject without preparing anything. No, it's not that easy. These are CA exams, not BCom exams. Okay? In BCom exams, that would happen. Like in BCom exams, you get some IMP questions, 10 IMP questions, you solve them. Out of 10, 8 questions will come in the exam. Well, that doesn't happen in CA exams, obviously. Yeah. So this revision series is for revising the entire subject, which you should have already learned. At least you have already attended the classes. Not necessarily my classes, anybody's classes you have attended, then you will be then this revision will be helpful for you. We'll be starting with chapter number 1, and I'll also tell you what are we going to cover in this revision. But before that, before I forget, certain important announcements, formal announcements. Well, for attending regular classes on Unacademy, for attending the regular batch syllabus completion batch on Unacademy platform, you will find my syllabus completion batches on Unacademy platform. But for that, you need one subscription. One subscription will give you multiple benefits. You can attend live classes. You can also watch recorded sessions. If you miss the live classes, you can watch the recorded sessions. Multiple educators will be available for each subject. Doubt solving sessions will be there. Mock test series will also be there. These are the pricing for CA Final Group 1 subscription. You can use code YESHAS. You can use code YESHAS to get 10% discount on this subscription. Use my code YESHAS Live to get 10% discount on these subscriptions. Group 2 pricing will be like this. You can also go for combo subscription, Group 1 plus Group 2 combo subscription. These guys have been our proud learners who have succeeded with Unacademy subscription. Well, we are also happy to announce the Iconic program for CA Final. Under the Iconic program, you'll be given live mentoring platform. Live mentoring means there will be one-to-one doubt solving. There will be one-to-one doubt solving by some subject expert. You can get in touch with the subject expert one-on-one to get your doubts solved. Evaluated test series will be there. Tests will be conducted and test papers will also be checked. You will be given feedback about your papers. Printed copies of the books will be given to you. Plus, you will have all the routine benefits of plus classes. Yep. The test series will be there under 3 stages. First test at 40% syllabus completion, second test at 80% syllabus completion, third test at 100% syllabus completion. After every test, there will be an analysis class in which the paper will be discussed with you, and you will be also given personal guidance and feedback regarding your performance in the paper. Okay. The pricing for iconic subscription will be like this. You can use code this Yashas Live. Remember the code, use code Yashas Live to get your 10% discount. You can also go for group 2 subscription, same code Yashas Live, or you can have combo subscription of iconic. Use code Yashas Live to get 10% discount. Also, we are happy to announce something new. Something new, Unacademy Studios. See, many students had requests that we want pen drive classes, downloadable recorded classes. Well, we have that for you now under the name Unacademy Studios. This is like the downloadable classes. You can download the classes from a Google Drive link and watch them at your convenience. Yeah. So if you are anyways watching recorded sessions, you can go for the downloadable classes. You can download them from a Google Drive link and watch them at your convenience. But this Unacademy Studios, you will get along with the iconic subscription. There is no separate subscription needed. Along with iconic subscription, you can get the downloadable videos also. And these are the main benefits that why you choose Unacademy. At Unacademy, as compared to pen drive classes, at Unacademy you will have unlimited views. Pen drives does not give that. You can get access to all subjects. You don't have to separately pay for each subject. uh, you can have live sessions also. You can attend unlimited live sessions, unlimited recorded sessions, full course plus fast track, anything you can attend. Doubt solving sessions will be there, tests will be conducted, everything you will get with one single Unacademy subscription. Yes, so it doesn't get better than this. So please tell all your friends and relatives to get in touch with Unacademy team for that. uh, Pushti, good evening. Pushti, Telegram link please share. Yes, I'll do that. Just give me a moment. I'll have to share that from my phone. And Neeraj, I was afraid of SCMP, but thanks a lot, sir. Now it's my favorite. Able to solve study material questions or past exam questions easily. Thanks again for this unexpected revision, helping us in every possible manner. Oh, thank you so much, Neeraj. But Neeraj, let me tell you, the revision was not unexpected revision. I had announced the revision during my regular classes also. Before every exam, I always conduct a full revision. Yeah. Just give me a minute. I'll share the Telegram links with you. Okay, I don't know how to share that here. Just a minute. I'll have to open it on my screen and then give you. Just give me a minute. Oh, it's something wrong. Okay, I just shared the link, but I think they don't allow sharing of the link. I think they won't allow sharing of the link on this platform. But well, what you can do is, yeah, I'm so sorry for the delay. What you can do is, Pushti, you can just download Telegram and search for CA Devang Kothari in there. You'll definitely find my group, my channel. You will find, and from the channel you'll get the link for the discussion group. Is that fine? Omkar, thank you, but I think they don't allow the sharing of the link on the chat window here. Okay, we'll start with the revision part. So chapter 1 is about introduction to strategic cost management. Well, basically in the entire chapter 1, there are only 3 important topics from the exam viewpoint. See, I will be conducting this revision series. Let me tell you what are we going to cover in this marathon revision. This marathon revision is like your last day revision. Yeah, so you can watch that now, or you can watch this entire series on the day before the exam. This is going to be that last and final revision. So I will be covering up all the concepts. I will also be covering up few questions, not all, but few questions we will also cover in marathon revision. All concepts and theory we will cover. We'll also cover few practical questions which are important ones. Not all, but certain practical questions which are important ones, which cover many things together. Those practical questions, yes, we will cover. Third, case studies are not covered. Naturally, see, case studies are not covered in the marathon revision because on the day before the exam, you don't read case studies. Same case study are not going to come again in the exam. Yeah, but yes, I will definitely cover how to answer case studies. Yeah, I will not cover exactly any case studies, but method of answering case studies, yes, that will be covered. And most importantly, I need to remind you about how to write analysis in different chapters and different questions, because you know that SCMPE paper, it is more important to write detailed analysis in every practical question. Yeah, so how to write that analysis, that also we are going to cover. Yeah, my first chapter, introduction chapter, we have no practical questions to be discussed, only few concepts we can cover up. So concepts will be covered in that. Budgets chapter, the second one that I'll be covering today, budgets chapter has also only concepts, and budgets chapter is mostly asked in terms of case studies. I'll also give you a review that what kind of case studies can come. Yeah, so chapter 1 and chapter 11, both these chapters are more famous with respect to the case studies. Starting with chapter 1, introduction to strategic cost management, there are 3 main topics in this chapter. Number 1, Porter's value chain analysis. Number 2 is framework for value chain analysis. Within that, 5 force analysis, that's the important one. And number 3 is about competitive advantage. All the 3 topics are important in chapter 1. There are certain other topics also in chapter 1 which I would say are not very important. Most of questions will be about these 3 topics, and these 3 topics mostly will come for case study, or it can come as analysis questions. Okay, okay, so starting with the first one, Porter's value chain analysis. Well, by now, if you have studied the entire syllabus, you must have realized the importance of this topic. This topic is referred, this topic reference comes in many other chapters, in many other case studies also. Yeah, we have taken the reference of this same topic in many other chapters also. Value chain analysis means what? Michael Porter was the guy. He said that you analyze all your business activities You analyze all the activities that are conducted in your business and find out that which activities are adding value, which activities are not adding value. The activities which are adding value to the product are the ones which are necessary, which are important. The activities which are not adding value to the product, you try to decrease them, try to eliminate them. Now, what does it mean, adding value? Adding value means what? Adding value means that whatever activity you are doing, it is called value added activity if the customer is ready to pay extra money for that activity. If the customer is ready to pay extra money for that particular activity, then that activity is called as value added activity. Like for example, I must have given the same example to you earlier. Like, yeah, sure. So there is the activity for which customer is ready to pay money. I must have given you example regarding, say, the packaging done by Amazon versus Flipkart. Yeah, Amazon does so much excessive packaging in the products that they deliver. Flipkart does not do so much excessive packaging. Now, just because Amazon does excessive packaging, does it mean I will be ready to pay more price? Obviously not. Because as a customer, I am interested in the product, not in the packaging. So just because they are spending extra money on packaging does not mean I will be paying them more money. So packaging activity done by Amazon is a kind of non-value added activity. Few other examples, like say that Three Idiots wala space pen. Imagine I manufacture this pencil which is a bulletproof pencil. Is that actually required? Does the customer pay extra money because this pencil is bulletproof? Well, I'm no Rajnikant. I'm not going to like deviate a bullet using a pencil. So it's actually not needed. Customer does not pay extra money for that. That is my non-value added activity. The main crux of value chain analysis is to identify and analyze various activities and identify the ones that add value to the final product and try to eliminate the ones which are non-value added activity. Now, Porter is classifying all these activities into two categories: primary and secondary activities. Primary activities are the ones which are directly related to the product, which are directly adding value to your final product. Secondary activities might also be adding value. Yes, secondary activities also may be adding value, but they are not adding value directly to the product. Okay? Now, primary activities involve inbound logistics. That's the activity of getting material. Now, after getting material, what you do, you convert that into finished goods. Now, converting materials into finished goods is called as production. That is called as operations activity. After production is complete, you have the finished goods. What will you do with the finished goods? You have to deliver finished goods to the customer. That is called as outbound logistics. Along with delivering finished goods to the customer, you also need to do advertising. You need to decide the pricing. So the activities pertaining to advertising and pricing decisions and all falls under marketing and sales, because these activities will directly affect the value given by the customer. More marketing you do, customer might be ready to pay more money. Yep. And after sales service. Yes, if you provide better after sales service, then customer will be more happy. He will be ready to pay more money. So after sales service is my service activity. These five are my primary activities for which the customer is ready to pay money. Now let us get into little details of that. Inbound logistics covers what? It covers all activities pertaining to getting material. Mostly it covers all activities pertaining to transportation. Because see, they are talking about logistics. Logistics means pertaining to transportation. Any activities for getting the material transported from the original supplier till my factory, it all falls under inbound logistics. Like for example, the material is transported from the supplier to some dealer, from the dealer to my warehouse, from my warehouse to my factory, from my warehouse to my store, and from my store to my factory. All these transportations will fall under inbound logistics. Similarly, Outbound logistics. The word logistics indicates that this is also about transportation, but transportation of finished goods. And outbound logistics will cover transportation until the finished goods reaches the final consumer. Yes, it will cover the transportation until the finished goods reaches the final consumer. Like say, from my factory, the goods are transported to my showroom. From my showroom, it is transported to the customer. Outbound logistics will not cover activities only up to the showroom. Outbound logistics will cover activities until the goods reaches the final consumer. Yes. So these are the primary activities. Secondary activities. Well, secondary activities, my first is procurement. Procurement is activities pertaining to purchasing raw material. Now, there's a very common confusion among all students that how is inbound logistics different from procurement? Because see, both are pertaining to purchasing material. One of them falls under primary, one of them falls under secondary. What's the difference? Well, the difference is that all the activities of material which pertain to transportation falls under primary activities, falls under inbound logistics. But any activity about material other than transportation, will fall under secondary activities. Other than transportation, what could that be? Come on, chalo, let us make this more interactive. I need some responses from you also. What do you think should fall under procurement activities, secondary activity? Exactly, yes, Harsh. It can be about supplier selection. It can be about, yes, quotations, evaluating quotations from the supplier. It can be about checking the materials when they arrive or checking the supplier. So any such act, or say placing the order, placing the purchase order, sending the purchase order, drafting the purchase order, sending it to the supplier and all. Yes, so any such activity pertaining to purchasing of material will fall under procurement activity. Done? Yes. So now you have a clear difference that which material activity falls under primary, which material activity falls under secondary. Next. Yes, Palak, reliability of the supplier also, that will fall under supplier selection or evaluating the supplier, all that. Yes, perfect. Second, second under secondary activities is technological development. Well, there are activities in my company for improving technology, replacing the machines, or changing the technology of production. All that falls under secondary activities. Because see, if I decided to change my technology of production, it might not affect the customer directly. See, customer does not care that I produce with which technology. Customer cares for the final product. He doesn't even know that which technology am I using to do the production. Yeah, so changing the technology is adding value to the product. Yes, but it is not directly adding value to the product. Okay? HR management is about recruitment, appraisal of the employees and all. The method how I recruit my employees. Customer does not care how I recruit my employees, but customer will be indirectly affected. Like if I recruit bad employees, then my production, my service will become bad. And if my production and service goes bad, then eventually customer will suffer. It is value added but not directly adding value. That is my HR activity. And infrastructure is about planning, finance and legal activities. All other activities in my company is like the infrastructure, planning, finance and legal activities. That also falls under secondary activity. These are called as Porter's value chain analysis. Now, I'll also cover up how this topic will come in the exam. Well, this topic mostly comes in the exam as case study. If you have attended my classes, we have discussed certain case studies of this topic in class. I'll also tell you what type of case studies will be there. See, you will be given details about a company. You will be given all such details of the company. Will be given that how does the company transport material, how does the company do production, how does the company transport finished goods. All such details will be already given in the question. You are just asked to classify that which activity given in the question falls under which category of Porter's 9 activities. These are 9 activities given by Porter. You just have to identify that out of the activities given in the case, which activity falls under which category. Done? Yes. So when you answer the case study, what you will do is you will explain what is primary activities. You will explain each item under primary activities. And with each item that you explain, you give examples out of the case which is given. Yeah, so you will explain what does inbound logistics mean, and you then give examples that in the given case the company does material transportation like this. Then you explain what is operations, and you then give examples that in the given case the company does production like this. Following activities of the company fall under operations. Yes, similarly for each category here, you identify examples from the given case and put them in your answer. That is simply how you answer case studies. Yeah. See, you have to realize that CA final, SCMPE is very different from CA intermediate costing subject. In your inter-level costing subject, you simply make calculations, reach the answer, and you get the marks. It doesn't happen here. Here, it doesn't happen that you make calculations, get the answers, and get the marks. No, you need to write analysis, especially in case of case studies. You have to be very careful. Did you understand how to answer case studies of this topic? So, although this is chapter 1, but let me tell you, this is still very important. Do not ignore chapter 1. Chalo, at this point, let me first tell you a small story, what happened with me. I don't know, I might have told this in class or not, but let me tell you what happened with me. In my CA final exams, I remember in my CA final exams, for FR subject, I had a shock. I had a real shock when I saw the paper. I'll tell you what happened. In the FR subject, like you have IND-AS, at my time it was not IND-AS, it was simply AS. IND-AS was not existing at that time. We had accounting standards, and we used to refer one particular book for accounting standards. I don't remember the name of the book, but there was one specific book which we were referring for the accounting standards. Now, normally, how do we study accounting standards? How I had studied these accounting standards, whenever I open the book for accounting standards, whenever I have read that accounting standards, I must have revised the book at least 2 to 3 times. But every time when I do that revision, what I did was, you start from AS1, AS2, AS3. I think we had 32 accounting standards at that time. So in sequence, accounting standard 1, 2, 3, 4, up to 32. All 32 accounting standards I had prepared very well. In that accounting standards book, the book which I was referring, it had a separate chapter for each accounting standards. Yeah, it had chapter 1 for AS1, chapter 2 for AS2, and so on. I had studied all the 32 chapters in detail. But in that book, along with that 32 chapters, there was one more chapter called Introduction. Yes, there was one more chapter in that book called Introduction. Now, normally, kaun padhta hai introduction? Like, who reads introduction? So I had also ignored that introduction chapter. I was thinking that chalo, accounting standards we are learning, then let us learn the accounting standards only. Introduction kaun padhta hai? I did not read that introduction chapter ever. And you know, in the exam, out of 100 marks of FR paper, 30 marks came only from that introduction. Yes, 30 marks came only from introduction, not even AS1 Palak. It came from only introduction. See, at that time in India, we did not have IND-AS or GFRS and IFRS applicable. But GFRS was already applicable in countries outside India. So what was there in that introduction chapter? In introduction chapter, they had just given some comparison between Ind AS and GFRS, comparison between Ind AS, comparison between accounting standards and IFRS. Some comparisons like that were given. And I was of the opinion, chalo, in India, IFRS, GFRS is not applicable. Why to study introduction? I skipped the introduction chapter and bloody they asked 30 marks out of that introduction only. Yes, Institute shocked everyone. Institute shocked everyone, but there was one friend of mine who rocked. We were a group of 8 friends who appeared for the CA final exams together. Out of 8 of us, 7 of us had skipped that introduction chapter. One guy, only one guy had already studied that introduction chapter also. That guy scored second rank all over India. Very close friend of mine, some of you might know him. He scored second rank all over India. Well, not just because he did the introduction chapter, he had done everything very nicely. But my point is that this friend of mine, he was the kind of guy that when you give him a book, he will not do selective study. Whatever book, 42nd rank guy, Sasidhar, I had told you about the 42nd ranked guy. He also had not done the introduction chapter. But this is about the second rank guy. We were 3 roommates. One of my roommate got 40, well, Sasidhar, not 42nd, he got 40th rank. And my other roommate, he got second rank all over India. But he was the kind of guy that when you give him a book, he will read even the introduction, preface, conclusion, even the price tag and the publisher of the book he will read. Publisher name, publisher date, everything. He will read the book from the cover page till the back cover. From the front cover till the back cover. Everything. Every time he revises, he will revise everything. Now, obviously that seemed to be odd, and every time when he would read that, I would start making fun of him that kyun time waste kar raha hai? Why are you wasting time? And then in the exam when I saw bloody 30 marks out of that chapter, I was like, okay, it was worth wasting that time. But anyways, luckily I could manage things and I could clear exams in the first attempt. But my point is that introduction, please do not ignore. Especially for SCMPE, for this particular subject, introduction is not like introduction of accounting standards. This introduction is actually an important chapter, and if you see the past papers, there are actually many questions out of value chain analysis. There are many questions out of 5 force analysis, many questions out of this chapter. Yeah. Okay. Next, going further. Now, we learned what does value chain analysis mean. Now, let us learn how to do that value chain analysis, how to conduct this analysis, how to analyze the activities. Well, to analyze my value chain, there are 3 things to be analyzed. So, framework for value chain analysis means how to do that value chain analysis. To do the value chain analysis, there are 3 things that you need to analyze. You need to analyze the industry. You need to analyze the core competencies, and you need to analyze segments in your own company. Try to see the connection between this. Analyze the industry means external analysis. You analyze the external factors which affect my company. Then analyze core competency, meaning analyze your own internal abilities which help you earn profit. That is core competency. This is internal analysis. This is external analysis. There's a very clear difference between these two. Industry analysis means you analyze factors outside your company. That is external analysis. While core competency analysis is basically internal analysis. Core competency means my own abilities, my own skill, some unique skill that my company has which gives me competitive advantage. Some unique ability that my company has that gives me competitive advantage. That is my core competency. So you analyze your own internal core competency, that is core competency analysis, and segmentation analysis, meaning you analyze that You analyze the competitive advantage of different segments within my company. So within my company, I might be having different segments, different types of products, different nature of business, different areas in which I do business. You identify that which segment of business has more competitive advantage. That is called as segmentation. Well, I can say this will also be internal. In short, value chain analysis. If you want to do the value chain analysis, there are three types of analysis you need to do. Mostly the questions will come separately for each type. The first one, external, is industry structure analysis. Now, when should I do industry structure analysis? The case studies that you will get here will be the ones where when you're planning to enter some new industry, when you're planning to start some new business, entering a new sector of the industry. Like say, for example, right now, Unacademy uh, is focusing only on coaching after 12th, like coaching for UPSC exams. We have coaching for competitive law exams. We have coaching for CA exams. Yeah, so most of the Unacademy courses pertains to the coaching after the student completes his 12th standard, after his schooling. Now if an academy is planning to launch school coaching also, 11th 12th science and commerce coaching, if we are planning to launch school coaching also, meaning we are planning to enter a new industry. Of course, Devang sir will not be teaching for the school students, but they will have a separate team who will be teaching for the school students. They are planning to enter a new industry. Now, if they are planning to enter a new industry, before entering new industry, they must analyze the external factors which affect their profitability. Yeah. So these five forces are the five forces that affect my profit. These are five forces which affect my profitability in that new industry. Let's see. So the five forces which affect my profitability, the forces that determine profit potential of the firm in the industry. Number one, bargaining power of the buyer. See, these are five forces. Basically, I can say these all are five threats that affect my profit. These are the threats that affect my profit. What is the threat? Threat is bargaining power of the buyer. If buyer has more bargaining power, then my profit will be less. Bargaining power of supplier. If supplier has more bargaining power, again my profit will be less. Threat of substitutes. If there are substitutes, more substitutes available, meaning there is more competition, again my profit potential will be less. If there is a threat of new entrants, if it is very easy to enter this business, then again my profit potential will be less. And intensity of competition, if there is very intense competition, then again my profit potential will be less. So do you understand that these five are basically threats? All these five will reduce my profit. So understand, how do these factors affect my profit? All five factors will reduce my profit. Yes, but you need to also understand. You need to also understand that in which situation buyer will have more bargaining power, in what situation supplier will have more bargaining power. Well, when we did our regular sessions, I must have given various examples that when does buyer have more bargaining power, when does a supplier have more bargaining power, and all those examples you need to identify from the case. Again, this question comes as a case study. Yeah, this topic is again important for case studies only. And in the case details, you will be given examples that might lead to buyer having more bargaining power. Chalo, again, some interaction from you I need. Can you give me example that when could buyer have more bargaining power? In what situation buyer will have more bargaining power? Yes. Come on. Any suggestions? Okay, when there are lots of sellers, correct? Or Sasidhar, you can also say opposite of that. When the buyers are very few, if the buyers are less, then they will have more bargaining power. Yes. Yes, Neeraj. When the buyer is buying in bulk, then again buyer will have more bargaining power. Harsh, when you say homogeneous product, uh, I think it means that there are more substitutes available. So Harsh, let us put that in substitutes part, not in this part here. Yeah. So agreed. So now buyer will have more bargaining power. Yeah. Buyer will have more bargaining power if there are less buyers, if they are bulk buyers, etc. Chalo. Yeah, etc. There can be many such factors where I can say that buyer will have more bargaining power. Similarly, bargaining power of my supplier. See, supplier is the person who gives me material. When will my material supplier have more bargaining power? Well, think of opposite situation. My supplier will have more bargaining power if there are less number of suppliers. And if I am buying small quantities, if I am buying small quantities, then again supplier will have more bargaining power. Yes. Okay. Pushti, that substitute wala thing we can put under substitutes. ठीक है? Anyways, there can be various examples over there. I'm just giving you the most common examples over here. Well, you need to identify such examples from the given case. Okay? Threat of substitutes. Well, if there is a threat of substitutes, then again my profit potential will be less. When will there be more threat of substitutes? When more substitutes are available. Simple. When there are substitutes available in the market, then there will be more threat of substitutes. Threat of new entrants. When will there be more threat of new entrants? Well, threat of new entrants will be more if entry barrier is less. Yeah, threat of new entrants will be more if entry barrier will be less. Entry barrier less. Entry barrier means what? Entry barrier means that how much is it difficult to enter this industry. What could be examples of entry barrier? Entry barrier examples is like heavy investment required, so it's not easy to enter this industry. Technical knowledge required, not easy to enter this industry. Government regulations are there, again not easy to enter this industry. These are all the technical, these are all the entry barriers. Yes, legal factors. Anybody cannot start practicing as a chartered accountant. Legal factors, you need qualification for that. Okay? So these are all the entry barriers. If the entry barriers are less, if it is easy entry, then again the threat of new entrants will be more. If CA Institute starts giving very good results in all the CA exams, initially you will be happy. Initially you will be happy that cancel a good results, so we will pass. But over a period you will realize that if they are giving very good results, over a period you will realize that the entry has become very easy. Entry into the CA profession has become very easy. And if there is easy entry, do you think Do you think that the reputation of our institute will be maintained? No. Entry into the profession has to be difficult. Entry barrier has to be hard. Only then, only then the value will be maintained. Yes, Neeraj, if the entry becomes very easy, then CA profession will become like BCom. Okay? And intensity of competition, how much more intense is the competition? There are few sellers, but they are very much intense into the competition. Then that intensity of competition will also affect my profitability. I must have given you example about, say, Coca-Cola and Pepsi. Intense competition between them. Okay? Anyways, these are the factors which might reduce my profit. Now when I ask you this in a case study, all you have to do is explain each point and identify such factors from the given case. You identify these factors from the case details given and put them in your answer. Done? Yes? Okay, next, core competency analysis. Now, core competency means a unique skill or technological know-how that creates distinctive customer value. Some unique skill that my company has, because of which I have a distinct customer value. Yeah, some unique ability which my company has, which others cannot replicate easily, that is called as my core competency. And core competency analysis means that you should analyze what is your core competency. You should analyze that what is the unique ability that your company has, and you can capitalize on that ability. Yeah, you need to identify that what is the unique ability which your company has, that is the unique skill or technological know-how which creates distinctive customer value. It comes from two sources, that is resources and capabilities. Resources means you have enough resources to make use of that unique skill, but you should also have the capability to make use of that. For example, I must have given you example about Samsung. You know, Samsung has good enough resources and good technological know-how in manufacturing touch screen. Samsung is the market leader in manufacturing touch screens right now. Yes, and until few years back, you may not know, but until few years back, I think uh, until I think say 3 years, 4 years back, Samsung was supplying touchscreen to Apple. Samsung and Apple are core competitions. Samsung and Apple are like stark competing companies in mobile phone manufacturing. But Samsung was supplying touchscreen to Apple. iPhone 10, up to iPhone 10, the touch screen which comes on the iPhone 10 is manufactured by Samsung. So that was an example which I must have given to you, that Samsung has the resources, but it did not have the capabilities to put that resources into use. Imagine, at that time, people were still saying that Samsung screens are not very good. Samsung phone touchscreen support is not very good. Apple phone screen is very good. Yeah, I have always been a part of that Samsung versus Apple debate because I'm a Samsung guy and most of my friends are Apple guys. So I've always been a part of that debate. And every time when an Apple person says that Apple screens are very responsive, I have to make them realize that okay, aapka Apple ka screen is very good, but you know who manufactured that screen? Samsung manufactured that screen. Yeah, I used to say that until iPhone 10, but now I can't. Anyway, so my point is that Samsung had the resources to manufacture good screens, but they did not have enough resources or they did not have enough capabilities to put them in use. Apple could put them in better use. Yeah. You know, Samsung is also the pioneer in developing the foldable screens. Samsung Fold was the first company who developed the foldable screens. Yeah. Anyway, so core competency comes from resources and capabilities. If I have only resources, no capability, then it doesn't become my core competency. If I have capabilities but no resources, again, that doesn't become my core competency. Segmentation analysis means to analyze the competitive advantage or disadvantage of different segments within my company. Simple, no more details in that. The most important part of this discussion is the five force analysis. Done? Any questions in that? Please tell me now. See, for chapters like this, for this chapter 1, also for the budgets chapter, my revision will go a little bit slow because I have generally noticed that the students tend to ignore these chapters. Yeah, most of students, most of you are so much focused on the other chapters like standard costing, decision making, transfer pricing, and all. You're so much focused on these other chapters, these practical oriented chapters, that mostly you tend to ignore these chapters. So I will be giving more time for these chapters which are generally ignored, and then standard costing, decision making, and all, definitely we have to give time, but those are the chapters which you are anyways expert at. Yes or no? So any questions over here, please tell me. Clear? All clear? Just a minute. Just a minute, I was not getting your chat window here. Okay. Okay, so first thing we learned what is value chain analysis. Then we learned how to do that value chain analysis. And the last one that I give you here is what is the use of this value chain analysis. You use the value chain analysis for what? Mostly you will use the value chain analysis for assessing my competitive advantage. First of all, what does competitive advantage mean? Competitive advantage means what advantage I have against my competitors. What advantage does my company have against my competitors? What makes the buyer buy from my company instead of buying from my competitor? Well, there are two sources from which I can have competitive advantage. Two simple sources of competitive advantage. Think of it like this. I can have advantage against my competitors by doing any one of the two things, by either having a unique product, or by having a unique pricing. See, either my product has to be very unique so that everybody will be crazy to buy my product, or my pricing has to be very unique so that everyone is crazy to buy my product. The purpose is that I want to make people crazy for my product. Either I make my product very unique, so unique and so good that people will buy my product in spite of having a high price. But if my product is not unique, then I need to make my pricing very unique. Yeah, so these are the two ways of getting a competitive advantage. These two methods are called as differentiation or low cost advantage. If I make my product unique, meaning my product is different from the competitors, that is called as differentiation advantage. Or if my product is not unique, it is not different, my product is exactly same as every other competitor's product. If my product is the same as the product given by all the competitors, then how will I make the buyer buy my product? Well, then I will make the buyer buy my product by charging a very unique price, by charging a very low price. But to charge a low price, I should have low cost. Low cost, if I have, that's called as low cost advantage. Did you understand the headings here? Yes, either my product has to be unique, that is differentiation advantage, or my pricing has to be unique, that is called as low cost advantage. I've given you examples about this. Like iPhone is a unique product, it enjoys differentiation advantage, so they are able to charge high price. But Geo Telecom, when they launched Geo Telecom, they launched it at a zero price. They launched it at a very low price. That will be because they have a low cost advantage. Do you remember that example? Yeah. So differentiation means that you make the product unique, and a low cost advantage is the one where pricing is unique. Yes. So in short, you can make your product unique. You can make the product unique by doing value chain analysis. You can also make your pricing unique by again doing value chain analysis. You have to decide where do you want to focus. Either you focus on making the product unique. How to do that? You do that by doing value chain analysis. Or you focus on making your price unique. How do you do that? You do that by again doing value chain analysis. So we are going to learn that how does value chain analysis help you to make the product unique. How does value chain analysis give you differentiation advantage? And once you have made your product unique, then how to take benefit of that uniqueness. Chalo, again I need some interaction from you here. Imagine if I was able to make my product unique, I was able to develop a product which is a very unique product. Now that I have a unique product, how will I take advantage of the uniqueness of this product? Come on, you suggest. How do I take advantage of the uniqueness of this product? Yes, Asidar, if my product has become unique, then I can start charging a premium price. That's what iPhone is doing. Yes, Pushti, customer is not price sensitive, so I can start charging premium price. That's agreed. Any other any other thing I can do once I have a unique product? Yes, Palak, I can assume that the customer will not be price sensitive because my product is unique. So customer will be ready to pay more price. And if the customer is ready to pay more price, so one strategy is that you charge more price and get more profit. What else? Any other strategy? Acha, tell me, in spite of having a unique product, if I still do not charge more price, then what happens? In spite of having a unique product, if I still don't charge more price, then what happens? Neeraj, that doesn't fit here. Like producing less quantity doesn't fit in my discussion here. No. Palak, if the customer is not price sensitive, if the customer is brand oriented, yes, Palak, in that case, the customer will be ready to pay more price. Palak, can you just draft your doubt in one sentence because it's breaking up? I'm not able to understand. Losing its brand? No. Neeraj Sasidhar, are you trying to say that if I charge low price and I will lose my brand image? See, I'm not telling you to charge low price. I'm telling you to charge normal price. Normal price only. Okay, Neeraj, if I sell at a low price, then high class people will not buy. ठीक है. Who will buy then? I think still you are not getting my point here. See, let me put it in a little different way. If I have a unique product, once I have a unique product, then what to do? Well, yes, Palak, if the price is charged low, then cost oriented customers will buy. Jade, yes, Jade, welcome, Jade. And now I have the correct answer. Yes, Jade, thank you. See, there can be two things. When I have a unique product, after I have a unique product, I know that my product is very unique. Now that you know that your product is very unique, there are two things you can do. Either you charge more price. If you charge more price, so you get more profit. Or, or instead of charging more price, I charge normal price only. I keep the selling price the same. Same matlab same as the competitors. See, in spite of having a unique product, if I keep my selling price the same as the competitors, I charge nominal price only. Then what will happen? Well, then in that case, my product is unique, but the pricing is nominal. So what will happen? Then my demand will increase, my sales will increase, I will get more market share. I will get more market share. Now that is for you to decide. Harsh, you already gave answer above. Expand market size as we can reach many segment. Yes, Harsh, I saw your answer now. Yes, Neeraj, now you are getting the point. So after Jade gives the answer, now everybody has the answer. Thank you, Jade, for initiating. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that once you have differentiation, then what to do? Once you have differentiation, then you increase the selling price to get more profit, or 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 you keep nominal selling price to get more market share. Well, you have to decide where you want to go. You have to decide, should you want to, do you want more profit or do you want more market share? What does iPhone want? What does Apple want? Apple wants more profit, so they are charging high selling price. They have a unique product and they are charging high selling price because they want more profit. Well, just like Apple, just like Apple, there are other mobile phone companies also who have unique product. Yes, there are other mobile companies also which have unique product. Like say Mi, Xiaomi. Yeah, Mi. Let us call it. Mi is a company who is also developing many unique products. Yeah, Mi phones have many unique features. Mi is also developing unique televisions and all. Yes, so MI is also a company who is developing unique products, but they are not charging a very premium price. MI is developing unique mobile phones, but they are charging nominal price. That is why they are able to get more market share. Market share in terms of units, not in terms of sales value. Yeah, they're getting more market share in terms of units sold. Yeah. Yes, Palak, OnePlus also can fall under that category. In short, my point is that once you have a unique product, then what to do? Company has to decide. See, all that is given here. Differentiation advantage is to make a product perceived as a superior. See, the word is very important. My product must be perceived as superior. It may not be actually superior, but it is perceived as superior. What matters is the customer perception. Customer believes that my product is unique, so if the product is perceived as superior, so that customers are willing to pay a premium price, that means I have achieved differentiation advantage. How to achieve this differentiation? How to use value chain analysis to create a differentiation? Well, to achieve differentiation, to make my product unique, either you need to offer superior quality, or your product should have superior innovation, or your product should have superior customer responsiveness. Maybe my product is unique because my quality itself is very unique. Like in case of iPhone, their quality is actually really very good. Like iPhone will never hang. iPhone does not have many stability issues which Samsung and other phones have. Their quality is actually very superior. Yeah, superior innovation. MI has lots of innovation. I'll tell you, iPhone does not have many innovations. iPhone has always copied innovations from others, but they are good in marketing. Actually good in marketing. The innovations that they copy from others, they will do so much marketing of that innovation that customer feels as if this is innovation done by Apple. Actually, most of those innovations are not done by Apple, they are done by other brands. Apple have simply copied them. So in case of innovation, I would rather give credit to MI. I would rather give credit to Samsung. Samsung innovated the foldable screens. Samsung innovated motion photos. Yeah, but they were not able to do marketing well. Apple did the better marketing and got the hold of it, motion photos and all. Anyway, so superior innovation can create a competitive, can create a differentiation, can create a unique product, or a superior customer service can make your product more unique. These are the ways how you can achieve unique product. Once you achieve unique product, then what? Then you increase selling price to get more profit, or you keep nominal selling price to get more market share. Yep. And you can use value chain analysis. Yes, use value chain analysis to identify areas of differentiation. Now, when you use VCA to identify areas of differentiation, see, identify areas of differentiation means that you need to analyze your own activities to find out that in which area can I differentiate my product. Apple must have done Apple must have done some value chain analysis to identify that in which area do we want to make our product unique. See, I'll tell you, Apple might have done some internal analysis. They analyzed that which activities are adding value to the customer. See, normally when I say mobile phone, then few years back, like say 10 years back, when a customer buys a mobile phone, what he will look for in the mobile phone. 10 years back, when a customer was looking for mobile phone, he will look for a phone which has good connectivity, which has good audio, which has clear audio and clear mic, and which has good connectivity with terms of messages. Tell me, today when you search for a mobile phone, do you even check the call quality or the messaging quality of the phone? What do you check when you buy a phone today? Yes, Meenakshi, camera. Yeah, girls will always check the camera first. And In fact, many guys also check only the camera. I don't know why. But see, if I go for a phone, I will not see the camera first, but I might see, say, the RAM and the storage capacity first. Okay? So you see, the things that the customer look for is changing. Now, Apple must have done value chain analysis to find out that customer is willing to pay premium for which features. How did Apple become a unique product? Well, Apple became a unique product mainly because they have given very good camera. Every person who is buying an Apple phone is buying the Apple phone because they love the camera quality of the phone. Yeah, 80% of the Apple customers are buying the Apple phone mainly because of the camera, and also mainly because of that half-eaten Apple logo behind. Imagine if Apple will remove the logo from their phone, I'm very sure that half of the buyers will drop out. Yeah, if Apple will remove that logo from the back of the phone, then half the buyers will drop out, because half the buyers are buying Apple phones because they want to click that mirror selfies where that Apple logo should be visible. Yeah, anyway, so they had done some analysis. They had to identify the areas where they want to create differentiation. Apple had to identify areas of differentiation. Areas of differentiation meaning you analyze that in which features, in which areas do I want to create my product different. Well, this will be done by doing value chain analysis. You need to analyze that out of all the features which a phone gives, which feature is the one for which customer is willing to pay a premium, which features are value added features, which features are non value added features. Yep, that is called as value chain analysis, and this analysis is called as internal differentiation analysis. So you need to understand these headings. When value chain analysis is used to identify areas of differentiation, it is called as internal differentiation analysis. You identify the customer's value creating process, identify which processes create value for the customer, evaluate differentiation strategies for enhancing that customer value. You evaluate different strategies, at which product features should I add. You evaluate that what better marketing should I do, evaluate better how can I give better customer service, how can I improve the brand image, and then determine the best sustainable strategy. Yeah, you identify which strategies can you do to improve features, or to do better marketing, or for better service, and you determine that which is the most sustainable strategy out of that. Apple must have analyzed many strategies, but then eventually they focused on the strategy of improving the camera. Now, they did that after doing internal differentiation analysis. Okay. Another way to achieve competitive advantage is the low cost advantage. Low cost advantage means you make your pricing very unique. That's what Jio Telecom had done. When Jio launched their telecom services, does the Jio Telecom services offer anything different than Airtel Vodafone? No. Whatever services Airtel and Vodafone was giving, exact same service also Jio was giving. Yes, they were giving call services and internet services. Basically, telecom network provides only two services to you, call and internet. Jio also provided the same two services. There was nothing unique that Jio Telecom provided. So their product was not unique. They had to make the pricing unique. Yeah. So low cost advantage is required. If you want to make the price unique, then you need to make your cost very low. So low cost advantage is to make total cost of my product lower than those of competitors. How is it done? It can be done by using low cost material, by using innovative technology. That's what Jio did. Jio was able to achieve low cost advantage because of innovative technology, and also obviously because of economies of scale. You know, before Jio Telecom was launched, the telecom services in India were of a different technology. There was GSM and CDMA network. GSM network was the most common one, if you've heard these names. But after Jio Telecom launched, GSM network is out. Now all the telecom companies are using technology called as Volt E technology. You must have seen that word Volt E even in your phone. LTE technology. Have you seen that word in your phone? Yeah, LTE. The full word is something like this: VO LTE. Yeah, so that LTE technology has been a low cost innovative technology which has given rise to low cost networking. So Jio Telecom launched with that innovative tech, because of which they have a low cost advantage. They have economies of scale and they got low cost distribution also. Yes, Jio got low cost distribution because Mukesh Ambani bought out the telecom towers of Anil Ambani. Anil Ambani ka company, Reliance Communication. Yeah, Reliance Communication company is almost shut down and they have stopped operations. Their towers were anyways lying idle. Mukesh Ambani simply bought out all the towers of Anil Ambani. Anyways, Anil Ambani was in a deep debt crisis. So Mukesh Ambani bailed him out, got his all towers and launched Jio Telecom. Yeah, they also got low cost distribution because of that. These are the areas where you can get low cost advantage. Now, once you achieve low cost advantage, then what to do? See what we did here. After I got a unique product, then I could charge more price and get more profit, or I could charge the same price and get more market share. Similarly, if I have unique pricing, then after getting unique pricing, then what? Well, if I have unique cost, if my cost is very unique, uh, okay, actually not unique price, if my cost is unique, then what to do? Well, once I have unique cost, then if I have low cost advantage, then I can charge low selling price, or I can charge still same selling price. Think, in spite of having after having a low cost, if I charge low selling price, so you can imagine that my profit ratio remains the same. My profit per unit remains the same. If my per unit cost is less and selling price also I charge less, so my unit profit remains the same. But because of low selling price, what I get is more market share. Or after low cost, if I charge same selling price, then what happens? After low cost, if I charge the same selling price, will my market share increase? No, if I'm charging the same price and my market share will remain the same, but because my cost is low, I will get more profit. So it's the same thing now. It's the same thing, but the method is different. Ultimately, because of these two things, ultimately because of differentiation advantage or because of low cost advantage, what the company wants to do is either increase profit or increase market share. In case of differentiation advantage, you increase profit by charging more price, but in case of low cost advantage, you increase profit by charging the same price. Your cost has already become low, you charge the same price, your profit will automatically increase. Yeah, and in case of low cost advantage, in case of lowest cost, you can get more market share by lowering the selling price. Yeah, so ultimate goal is still the same. Either you want to increase profit or you want to increase market share. Same goal over here, increase profit or increase market share, but just the method is different. Did you understand that the goal is the same? Yeah, so once I achieve low cost advantage, then what to do? Then I decrease price to get more market share, or I keep the same price and get more profit. Ultimate goal is still the same. Either you want more profit or you want more market share. Look, ultimate goal of every company is the same, whether it is Jio Telecom or whether it is Apple. For both the companies, the ultimate goal will be any one of these two. Either they want more profit or they want more market share. It's just different ways how they achieve the goal. Certain companies achieve the goal by making product unique. Certain companies achieve the same goal by making the pricing unique. Done? Yep. And again, in order to achieve the low cost advantage, you need to lower your cost. To lower the cost, you can do value chain analysis. So value chain analysis can be done to identify areas of low cost. This analysis is called as internal cost analysis. See, in your study material, they have a separate topic about internal cost analysis, and there is a separate topic about internal differentiation analysis. But I am merging that topic into the topic of competitive advantage, because I need you to see the connection. Competitive advantage has differentiation advantage, and differentiation advantage can be achieved by doing internal differentiation analysis. Competitive advantage also contains low cost advantage. Low cost advantage can be achieved by doing the internal cost analysis. Yeah. Internal cost analysis means you analyze the different components of your cost. You analyze different components in your cost and find out, identify areas where you can lower the cost. And this is simply activity based costing. Yes, the steps given over here are absolutely same as the steps in activity based costing. Identify the firm's value creating process, identify activities, determine cost of each activity. You identify activities, identify cost of each activity, identify the cost driver for each activity, and try to reduce that cost. Yeah. Identify the link between the process. Like there can be some link that by doing more automation, you can reduce the labor cost. So you try to reduce labor cost by doing automation. Evaluate opportunities for achieving that cost advantage. Now you evaluate that which of these things can help you achieve that cost advantage. Done? Yes, this is my detailed recap about competitive advantage. Lastly, there is a new topic added which is called as focus strategy. Certain companies also follow the focus strategy. Focus strategy means I don't focus on making my product unique, I don't focus on making my price unique. Rather, I focus on making a small group of customers happy. I focus only on a small group of customers, a niche market. That is called as focus strategy. Concentrate only on a specific segment, a niche segment. Then it is called as focus strategy. Okay. Last part of the chapter is called as value shop model, also called as a service value chain. Value shop model is basically same as my first topic, value chain analysis, but this is value chain analysis for service industry. Yeah, this is value chain analysis for a service industry, especially customized service industry. Say as a practicing chartered accountant, if you are a practicing chartered accountant, your main job is say income tax work. So see, if you are a tax practitioner, if you are practicing in the area of taxation, then tell me, as a practicing chartered accountant, will you have activities like inbound logistics, processing, outbound logistics and all? No. Yeah, such activities do not exist in case of service industry. In case of service industry, the primary activities are different. Yeah, so these are the industries which are for solving specific problems of the customer. So rather than creating value by producing the products, you create value by providing a customized service. In such case, primary activities will be different, secondary activities will still be there. You will still have HR activities and technology development and all, but most of primary activities will be different. Now your primary activities will be a little bit different. It will be about problem finding and acquisition, choosing among the solutions. You find what problem the customer has, choose the solution which will solve the customer problem, solving that problem, and execution of that activities. Yes, anyways, you just need to memorize these four names, not very important there. This completes my chapter 1 recap. I'll give you a minute. Just tell me if you have any questions. Acha, and have you also got the notes for my revision series here. I had shared the revision notes on my Telegram channel yesterday only. Yes, do you have the revision notes? Yes. Okay. Okay, so that was chapter number one. Further, we'll also have a recap of chapter 10, budgetary control. A very small chapter. Uh, Sasidhar, it is not exactly same as my summary notes. In my summary notes, I have given only concept summary. In my revision notes, along with that same concept summary, I have also included few practical questions. Of course, not in this chapter, but in certain practicals chapter, standard costing, decision making and all, I've also included few practical questions in the revision notes. Yes, so please join the Telegram channel. You'll get the notes in my Telegram channel. I have given the link for downloading my revision notes there. It's the same link as the link of all my material. My general material link, the same link you will find the summary notes also. Okay? I mean the revision notes. Okay, so next chapter 10, budgetary control. Now this chapter is important only for case studies. Not even theory questions will come. Mostly what you'll get from this chapter is case studies, and most of the case studies will be about the first topic only. So for this chapter, we'll have a very fast revision today. Yep. The chapter starts with the topic about feedback and feed forward control. Feedback control means reaction after an action has taken place. See, budgetary control basically means to control my costs, to control my activities, to control my mistakes. Feedback control means to take corrective actions after the mistake is done, while feed forward control means to take preventive action before the mistake happens. Yeah, so feedback control is a reaction after the error has already taken place, while feed forward control is a control mechanism to prevent the error from happening. Simple example: if i if I check my finished goods to identify defective units, if I perform checking of finished goods to identify defectives, this will be like feedback control. You are trying to find out defectives after the defective production is done. And once you find the defectives, you try to rectify them. That is called as feedback control. But feed forward control means that you develop a better technology. You develop a better production technology such that defectives are not produced only. Yes, you develop a better technology such that defectives are not produced, then that becomes feed forward control. You see the difference here? Feedback control, feed forward control. Feed forward basically means that you be more careful such that mistakes do not happen. And feedback control means that you check whether mistakes have happened or not, and if mistakes have happened, then you rectify those mistakes. That is called as feedback control. So feedback control involves that first you make some error, then you take corrective actions, while feed forward control means control before the error happens. See, so feedback is basically not a control. Feedback is basically rectification, but feed forward is actually a control. It is a control mechanism in order to prevent the error. You have such tremendous controls over your production such that errors do not even happen. Then it is called as feed forward. Okay? Feedback control is like cost control. Standard costing, variance analysis. Variance analysis is a feedback control, while feed forward control is like cost reduction. Cost reduction means you try to reduce the cost before it is even incurred. Tell me, do you understand that? Feedback and feed forward control? Mostly this will come as case studies, and the case studies will also be very simple. They will give you in the case that the company is doing some kind of corrective actions and they want you to suggest the company which is better. So what will you suggest? You will mention that currently the company does this, but your suggestion will be that company should do this. Yeah, you identify what is the company currently doing. Mostly currently the company does is feedback control, and you recommend them that they should do feed forward control, because this way they can prevent the error before it even happens. Okay, of course it has to be cost effective also. Feed forward control turns out to be very expensive, then it is not advisable. Okay. Okay, second part in my budgets chapter is pertaining to behavioral aspects and participative budget. Behavioral aspect basically means that you analyze behavior of your managers when you are giving them targets. See, I am the top management. There are other middle managers. The top management will make a budget and impose the budget on the middle managers. If I am creating a budget, means I am creating targets and I am imposing these targets on my managers, then these imposed style budget is called as top down budget. In case of top down budget, the divisional managers might not be very happy when I'm imposing them with targets. So there is a suggestion that you can do participative budget, where divisional managers will be involved in setting the budgets. Divisional managers are involved in setting up the budget and setting up the targets for their own division. This is also called as participative budget. The division managers will participate in making the budget. This is also called as bottom up budget. Bottom up because in this case the top management is not imposing the budget on the middle managers, rather the middle managers are involved in making the budget. Benefits of this participation: well, if the targets are set by manager themselves, then they won't find it very challenging. Yeah, so even though eventually we are giving targets to the manager, but now the manager will be more excited to reach the targets because he himself has given the target. Imagine if the manager himself has given the target, then he has to prove himself by reaching the target. He will find it more obligatory to reach the target. But if the target was imposed on him, he might not be feeling the obligation to reach the target. Another benefit, if the managers, in case of participation, the managers will give more efforts to reach the target, because if the targets were too difficult, then performance will deteriorate. See, in case of imposed budget, many times what happens is that I might impose very difficult targets. If I impose them very difficult targets, then the managers will not be motivated to reach the target. We have talked about that graph, if you remember in class, the graph which shows the budget difficulty. If the targets become more and more difficult, then the performance of the workers after some point will start falling. The red line is the budget difficulty and the blue line is the performance. Up to some extent, the workers will try to perform, but after a certain extent, if the budget becomes very difficult to achieve, then the performance will fall. Do you remember that? Yes, if the targets become very difficult to achieve, then the performance will start falling. I must have given example about ICAI passing marks. If ICAI increases the passing marks to say 80 marks, then many students will quit doing CA. That means performance will deteriorate. Yeah. So budget difficulty is a very critical issue. If you make the budgets, if you make the targets very difficult to achieve, then after some point the performance will deteriorate. Now this will never happen in case of participative budget. If the managers are participating in setting the target, then the targets will never be set very difficult. Managers will give more efforts to reach that targets. Yeah. But problems of participation, problems is that individual managers will focus on only short-term goal. They will focus on only financial goal. They will ignore the non-financial aspects. Yes, second problem, they may pursue the targets at the cost of critical resources. Well, the manager will try to achieve the targets by wasting so much resources. Wasting the resources will give you long-term problems. The manager does not see that long-term problems. Top management has to see that. Okay? And the biggest problem is that these middle managers, the divisional managers, may set slack targets. Slack targets means what? Slack targets or budget slack means setting easy targets. Imagine if the managers are setting easy targets, then it will be easy for them to achieve. But based on these easy targets, the company performance will not improve. Na? Yeah, so company performance will not improve if the targets are always set very easy. That problem happens when there is participative planning over here. Okay? These are the participative budget or behavioral aspects. Again, that comes mostly in the form of a case study. Okay? And the last part of the chapter is something called as beyond budgeting. Beyond budgeting is a more advanced way of creating a budget. I will directly explain difference between traditional budgeting versus beyond budgeting. Say traditional budgeting is the one where I give you fixed targets or incremental targets. Traditional budgeting is, for example, that company will keep a target of say fixed increase every year. For example, company keeps a target of increase profit by 10% every year. But if the company has a fixed target that every year profit should increase by 10%, this is my traditional method of making a budget. But beyond budgeting says that such targets are not good enough. Your targets should not be a fixed increase every year because every year is different. Imagine if I had set a target of 10% increase in profit in year 2020, would that be possible to achieve? No, because 2020 was a special year, COVID year. Yeah, so such variations will happen every year. Year by year, there has to be variation. So beyond budgeting says that you don't make budget based on fixed targets like this. Your targets should be relative. Your target should be relative. The rewards should also be relative to the situation, relative to the last year. Beyond budgeting says that your budgets should be very flexible. The main crux of beyond budgeting is that your targets should be flexible. It's not that every year increase profit by 10%. That is a very rigid target. Beyond budgeting says that your target should be flexible. It should be relative targets. You can stretch your goals. You can reduce your goals. That is the main concept behind beyond budgeting. Here you have a fixed annual plan, but beyond budgeting says that you never fix a plan for the entire year. Your entire year goes with planning. You keep doing planning throughout the year. That is continuous planning to be done during the year also. There is no fixed annual plan. There is no variance control. There will be rolling forecasts. Rolling forecast and rolling KPI. Rolling means every month you will create a new targets and new KPIs. Yep. Or maybe every week or every month or every week, there will be continuous planning and continuous rolling forecast to be done. Under traditional budgeting, there are pre-allocated resources, and all the resources are coordinated from the central location, from the top management only. But under beyond budgeting, there are no pre-allocated resources. Resources are provided on demand. If your department demands more resources, then you give more resources to them. Yeah. Okay, Harsh, but you don't mix that over here. That is a pure theory. PDCA is a pure theory from chapter 2. You don't need to mix that here. Here you give resources on demand, and here there is dynamic coordination. Dynamic coordination means that resources are not provided only by the top management. Resources are more having dynamic coordination, meaning if your department needs resources from my department, then we can coordinate with each other and I can share my resources with you. We don't need to involve the top management for that. Yeah. So if the top management is involved in any resource sharing, then it is called a central coordination. But if the divisions can share the resources dynamically without involving the top management, that is my dynamic coordination. That is why under traditional budgeting, there is more of central control and the focus is more on managing numbers. But in beyond budgeting, there is local control, division wise control. Every division will have its own decisions to be made. Every division will have some own freedom to decide a few things. There is local control and there is more focus on value creation rather than just generating profits. That is my beyond budgeting principle. Anyways, that is my budgets chapter. Mostly in the budgets chapter, the case studies which come are mostly pertaining to feedback and feed forward control. Okay? So that completes my recap of the budgets chapter. Any questions here? Well, Harsh, in the revision series, we will not be discussing case study. But Harsh, I have already covered that. How will you answer case studies? Like in chapter 1, I told you how to answer case studies. Here also I told you, see Harsh, in this chapter, case studies have always come out of feedback and feed forward control. How to answer that case study is simple. You first explain what is feedback control and give example that currently the company is doing feedback control. Then you explain what is feed forward control and give example that in this company, what feed forward control can you suggest? Okay? First, there is no meaning of discussing case study in the revision. We discuss case studies in class. We also discuss case studies in the fast track batch. But revision, there is no need of case study discussion because the same case study is not going to come in the exam. Instead, I am covering up how to answer case studies. Okay? Tell me, any other questions in budgets chapter? Okay, then before I end the today's session, I will also cover some other things pertaining to case study. So yes, Harsh, instead of discussing a particular case, I'm giving you guidelines regarding how to answer case studies. Yeah. In my book also, I've given you the last topic as the general case study guidelines. See this. In the exam, the case study weightage is around 20 to 30 marks. 20 marks case study will be there plus another 10 marks small case might also be there. So average 20 to 30 marks will be case study weightage. While studying the cases, you don't have to memorize what to answer. Rather, you focus on how to answer. Yes, see Harsh, that is why I will not be discussing case studies in class. Yes, Jade, we have a question. Will cost reduction or cost control be considered in a traditional budget? Jade, see, traditional budget and beyond budgeting is about creating a budget. Both of these are about creating a budget. It is not about decreasing the cost. Yes, so it is about how the budgets are created. Either the budgets will be created with fixed annual plan, or the budgets will be created with rolling plans or flexible plans. So, Jade, in both the cases, there might be cost control and cost reduction. If the company follows a traditional budgeting fixed annual plan, then you can try to do cost control in fixed annual plan. You can also try to do cost reduction in the fixed plan. Similarly, if the company does continuous planning, then in that continuous planning, flexible planning also, within the flexible plan, you can do cost control and cost reduction. Both can come in both the places. You understand that? Yes, Jade, is that clear? Okay. Okay, so coming back to the general case study guidelines, case studies can be mostly open-ended questions. So apart from the basic theory, your answer can include suggestions out of your own creativity also. That is also very important. When you answer case studies, I suggest that you also include your own creative suggestions. Yes, not necessary that the answer comes from the theory of the book only. Your answer might also include your own creative suggestions that will add value to the case study. Okay? So general guidelines for answering a case studies, I say there can be two types of case studies. See, these guidelines are not given in any book. These are my home production, Devang's home production. This will help you in classifying and answering case studies easily. So there can be two types of case study questions. Either it is a problem solving case study or it is a theory based case study. If it is a theory based case study, it is very easy to answer, like the ones we discussed today. If the case study is based on some particular theory, you write the details of that theory and give examples of this case as examples in the answer. Yeah, you identify examples from the given case and put them in your answer. That is basically a theory based case study, like the one I discussed for value chain analysis. Yeah, but if it is a problem solving case study, then I have some particular guidelines for that. See this. What is a problem solving case study? This is a case where details about a company are given and the company has certain problems. You need to identify each problem that the company has and you are required to suggest solution to each problem. For such questions, answer the case as per the following guidelines. See, these guidelines will help you draft a standard solution in every case which is a problem solving case. Okay? So step 1, identify the theory topics involved in the case and describe those theory topics. Step 2, explain what the company is currently doing and most importantly, identify the problems that the company is currently facing. Yeah, you identify the problems that the company is currently facing. Also write appreciation about anything that you find good in the company. Don't just keep complaining about the problems. You also show appreciation that these things, these steps taken by the company are good. Yeah. Then give recommendation against each problem. Yes, each problem. Do not miss out any single problem. You give your suggestions or a recommendation against each problem. Step 3, identify and describe any other aspect or any other extra recommendation you can think of. And step 5, describe the benefits of your suggestions. The suggestions that you gave in step 3, you now mention the benefits of all your suggestion. Mostly the benefits are exactly same as the problems. Benefits are simply that these problems are resolved when you follow my recommendation. See, this is how you also answer a client. Imagine a client has come to your office asking for your suggestions. This is exactly how you give answer to your client. You first identify that what problems the client is having, give recommendation against each such problem, and you show the client the benefits of your recommendation. See, if you show the client benefits of your recommendation, then he will be happy to pay the fees. Yes or no? Yeah, this is how you answer a case study, which is a problem solving case. Second category are theory based case study. Well, in case of theory based case study, these are the cases where again details about a company is given, but this time the company does not have any problems at all. You will not be given any problems in the company. The question is just asking you to apply some particular theory in this company. That's why I call it as a theory based case study. For such questions, describe the full theory that is asked and mention the given case as example with each point of the theory. Like the first topic I discussed today, value chain analysis. You explain what all activities are involved, primary and secondary. You explain each primary and secondary activity, and you give example from the given case. You mention example from the given case that in this company what is inbound logistics, in this company what is operations, in this company what is outbound logistics. You simply identify examples from the given case with each activity. This is called as theory based case study. Done. I hope these guidelines will help you design answers more comfortably. Yes or no? Yes. One last general note that sometimes if the question of the case study, sometimes in the question of the case study, if specific requirements are asked instead of general answer, general analysis, then you need to answer for that specific requirements only. Many times the case details will be given, and after the case details, you are asked specific question 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If specific 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions are asked, then simply answer those 5 questions. Then do not follow the steps which I give you here. These steps you follow if the question does not ask you anything specific. If the question is just asking you general analysis of the case. If the question is asking you only general case analysis, then follow these steps. If the question is asking you specific requirement, then simply follow that specific requirement. In such case, do not follow the steps given above. However, if in the question no specific requirement are given, then answer as per the guidelines given above. Done? See, I'm sure that these guidelines will help you create your case study answers in a better way. See, when you read the case study answers given by ICAI, in every case study answer, they have different style of creating answer. Because every answer given by ICAI is of different style. So you will always get confused at how should you create the answer. Well, that's where my guidelines will help you. Yes, these guidelines will actually help you that you don't need to follow the exact same answer which ICAI gives. I recommend you simply follow my guidelines here. You follow these guidelines and I'm very sure that you can easily score more than 80% in the case study. See, case study answers, it's not very likely that you score 100% marks, but if you follow these guidelines and it covers mostly everything that is needed, it'll help you score at least 80% in the case study answers. Huh? Yes, any questions there? Okay, so that completes my revision session, first session here. We'll be coming back again live tomorrow, second session. I'll be sharing the link of that second session again on my Telegram channel. I cannot share the links over here. So I'll be sharing it on my Telegram channel for the session tomorrow. Tomorrow's session, revision session is regarding standard costing. Yeah, tomorrow's entire session will be for standard costing, one chapter only. We'll be covering concepts, we'll be covering analysis, and we will also cover few practical questions. Yeah, but it is going to be a very fast revision. So I hope you have already studied the chapter, then only you will understand the fast-paced revision. That's all. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.